Hey guys, welcome to our stream.
Hey everybody. Sorry, I was waiting for the countdown. It didn't happen. I wasn't ready.
Yeah, we're not as fancy anymore. No 30-second countdown.
How's everybody doing? Hopefully good.
Yep. I know last time it took a couple minutes for people to flow in, but didn't take too long. So maybe we'll give it 30 seconds or so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
let's go.
So yeah, just to go over what we're going to be talking about today while we wait for people to file in, and talk a lot about BOMMAX today. A lot of different aspects of it. Why BOMMAX, why BOM BTCB, which is the heart of BOMMAX. Then we're going to get into some more advanced topics related to BOMMAX and another little bit of a surprise item that we're going to cover related to what we can do in the future in terms of rewarding bombers and getting bombers free tokens or access to future launches and different things like that. But I'll get into more details on that later on. So, okay. Well, let's get started now. Been live for a minute, so. Firstly, for anyone doesn't know Simon, if you want to introduce yourself, and just for all the
new everybody, Simon here for anyone new. Diamond in the chats. Been with Bomb Money for a couple of years now. Time goes by quick. Been through. Started in the end of last bull market, and Bomb is really what got me interested in crypto. The whole aspect of it, the heart of it, which is farming basically BTC, I think is freaking amazing, and that's still what we're offering. That's BOMMAX puts that on a pedestal and puts that really to extremes, which is amazing. We have some really cool new offerings in that which we're going to be going over again today.
Yeah, and it really shows Simon's dedication being with us through the entire bear market, because for anyone that's been in crypto through the bear market at very tough times, but very happy that everything's turning around now. So, patience pays off, and we've both been patient through the bear market, and a lot of our loyal bombers have as well. And for anyone that took a break during the bear market and is coming back now, welcome back. You guys didn't miss much during the bear market, so. All right, let's jump in. So, BOMMAX intro. Let's share the screen. So, this is BOMMAX. I've loaded up a demo position that I'll be able to demonstrate some stuff with. Firstly, so related to BOMMAX, let's talk a little bit about why BOMMAX and where it came from. I'll get into the history of the actual contract history a little bit later, because that's more advanced. But BOMMAX is something that we built originally for the original BOM protocol, just as a way to kind of really put the focus around BOM BTCB. BOM BTCB it's just a great way to earn with your crypto in a stable, sustainable way. Basically with our protocol, you pretty much have BOM BTCB, and then you have the speculation and the volatility of the share tokens and share farming and all that. And that's that's great for more advanced users or people that are familiar with the Tomb Fork model. But for the vast majority of people, I'd say for everybody, you want to have 80% of your position in BOM BTCB, whether that's through BOMMAX or through the regular farms. But yeah,
for everyone new here, BOM and Tomb Forks can be very confusing. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of advanced strategies that can be used. This really brings it down to the basics in a simple to understand way.
Yep. So let's just go over what you can do with BOMMAX. And we'll start at the very beginning. So, and again, I'm going to go into a lot of details about how all these things work later on. But for now, I'll just talk about from the user perspective, what the feature is, how it can benefit you, and maybe any risks involved with it. So our single staking's really taken off. And that's what I'm demonstrating right here is the single asset staking, single-sided staking. Here, we have two options right now. We cannot add other options in the future, but again, we really want to focus BOMMAX around BOM BTCB, as that's, it really is a strong pair to earn through this bull market. So what you can do here is any BTCB or bomb that you have, essentially you can stake it here. And as you can see, I've got 20,000 staked on this demo wallet here. And yeah, this just grows at the APR that it shows on the screen. The APR is dynamic. It adjusts with utilization. So as you can see, there's been a lot of demand to borrow these assets. So just to go over the numbers, we've got over $25,000 worth of BOM and over $25,000 worth of BTCB here. And, you know, BOM is at 97% utilization and BTCB is at 94%. So those assets that have been supplied have already been, you know, majority of them have been borrowed out. And we'll explain how that borrowing works in a second.
Mm-hmm.
But no,
are there any risks here? And, you know, can you take out at any time?
Yeah. So the risks here are essentially there's two risks. This is by far the safest thing that you could do with BOM Max. So the risks is, number one is that if you are a big depositor to single stake, if the utilization is high, there's a chance you won't be able to pull out all of your funds in one shot when you want to. So for example, I know there's a bunch of people in the BTCB that have, you know, put probably 10% or more of the total. So if they were to try to take everything out right now, they wouldn't be able to. But that's where like the dynamic APR kind of neutralizes everything and fixes everything there. So for example, if you wanted to withdraw your BTCB and you have more deposited than what's available, you could just pull out what's available. Then the utilization spikes to 99. The APR jumps to a high level where it's going to entice other people to deposit BTCB to earn that crazy high APR. You know, I'm sure that's best in the industry, you know, by a lot. So even at this rate, it's still insane. Nice. That's, you know, just short of 1% a day that's paying. So yeah, so one of the risks is you won't be able to pull out all of your assets the second that you actually want to. But again, the system's designed to rectify that very quickly. And the other side of that is, besides other people depositing because of the high APR, people that are borrowing might not want to pay that high APR to borrow. So they would start deleveraging their position. In fact, I deleveraged one of mine this morning because these APRs are getting kind of crazy. Like I didn't fully deleverage it, but it's, yeah, I mean, it's when you factor in compounds, you know, it still probably makes sense to leverage at these APRs, but the farm is, I think, right. Let's see what the farm's paying right now. You know, the farm's paying 421 APR, right? So, I mean, that's right around what these are at, right? So it's a little bit iffy if I'd want to be leveraging around there, because I mean, the idea, I'll get into this a bit later, but the idea is that, you know, when you borrow assets to leverage, you want your farm to grow at a faster pace than the extra assets that you owe on borrowing. And again, I'll get into all that soon. So, and I mean, the other risk, which is one that I don't really feel is a major risk, but it's something that has to be mentioned, is if there ever was a massive swing in the peg and the liquidation bots are not right on top of it, which they always would typically be because there's money to be made in those situations. There is a small chance there that a leverage position could get underwater. But there's a lot of safeguards in place to kind of protect against that. For one, the liquidation, there's a safety margin on the position so that once an account gets liquidatable, there's still a decent amount it can move beyond that would still leave without having any losses, right? So there's safety margins built in everywhere. And again, if the liquidation bots are, you know, doing what they do to make money, that would never be a problem. So
again, both of these risks, just to reiterate, are kind of temporary risks. There are things that could happen, and, you know, eventually it would sort itself out. Hopefully, we have probably ways we could even help out in both of these situations.
Yeah, and I mean, like, this is just me giving, you know, the both risks that are extremely, you know, well, utilization one is one that you can just see, and it's something that has to be dealt with if you're a big depositor. But yeah, again, we can also help out, right? Like if somebody says in the chat that, hey, they want to withdraw their BTCB and, you know, they're not able to, then, you know, another depositor could jump in, or, you know, anybody with a leverage position could, you know, lay off it a little bit. And there's a lot of ways that can get rectified immediately. So, but overall, this is an extremely safe relative to other options in the industry, and insane APRs on, you know, blue chip cryptos and BOM. Like, I mean, this is somewhere where I'm going to be putting all my BOM out of the boardroom. Like, where better to put it? And then, you know, no sell pressure on BOM, and you get to earn, you know, 400%. Like, the number just
No-brainer.
grows. The last time I opened up this account, this number was under 20,000 BOM, and
Nice.
that wasn't too long ago. So anybody have any questions about the single stake? I guess I could be throwing some of these comments up on the screen.
Yeah, we could. Let's go. Sorry, I think you posted another one. Let's go. Another for everyone watching on YouTube. Please like and subscribe. Helps the channel out. It helps everyone out and helps yourself out indirectly. Bomb. Yes, let's go. Those charts are looking amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I guess single stake is pretty self-explanatory, so there's probably not going to be too many questions related to that.
No.
All right. Let's jump into the farm now. So farming is your, basically what it is, it's using the BOM platform to take it, basically it utilizes what we feel is the best investment in the actual core BOM money app, which is farming the BOM BTCB pair. And some people like to farm BOM BTCB pair and manually handle their rewards, which you can do at the BOM money app itself. BOM Max kind of just simplifies everything. It's got a working zap ability, so you can zap in with BTCB, BNB, BOM, B2 share. So any of those assets, you can just jump in here and you can create an LP position. Actually, we added a little note here so that anyone knows that after you zap, you will need to deposit it. You would just go here and stake it, and simply that would, if you haven't borrowed anything, that would just you just see how many staked LPs that you have. And yeah, it's pretty much as simple as that. Every 90 minutes it compounds and you're going to see your staked LP count go up. So this number is going to go up, how many LPs that you actually have staked, which is a combination of, what you've originally deposited. And then if you've leveraged, when you leverage, those LPs are still yours and you're earning on them. So that also shows here. So you can see you can kind of see my LP equity and debt. And actually, this is a good example because I set this up a day or two ago with 2 times leverage. And you can see now my LP equity is higher than my debt. So my LP is gaining faster than my debt is accumulating on that, if that makes sense. Any questions about the farm or how that works or how compounds work or why to use this? Or BOM Max is designed to be very simple. So I guess it's probably not too many questions related to that. I guess now let's jump into leverage.
Yeah.
And again, I'm going to go into detail later on about the history of this and like why this is able to work and why you're able to leverage as much as you are with quite relative safety to other borrowing platforms in crypto. So yeah, so you can really see all the details here on the borrowing page. You can see, all the details related to how many assets have been supplied on both sides. You can see the utilization, which directly ties into, what you're going to have to pay to borrow. So you can see right now on BOM, you have to pay 466% to borrow, and on BTCB, it's 425%. And yeah, essentially, so this is an active position already. So I'll just explain what a couple of these things mean. Total collateral. This is the total value of all of my LPs that are staked. That includes my leveraged ones and my original. Total debt. This is a simplified calculation. And again, I'm going to get into this in a second, but your debt is not actually calculated in LPs. This is just showing you the equivalent of basically how much you owe in assets, their dollar value, and then what that dollar value would be worth in LPs. So it's a great simple way to look at it. But the thing is, like, as the peg moves, like just say, for example, you set up a leveraged position when the peg is at 0.8. If the peg then jumps to 0.9, your 2 borrowed assets are not going to be an even dollar value, right? And I'll show that in a second. Right, because I've noticed that any account that I've leveraged on, as the BOM peg has been increasing, the BOM that I borrowed is more expensive to pay back than the BTCB, because when the peg is lower, I had to borrow more BOM and less BTCB to make that pair. But when I have to pay it back, I still have to pay back that original BOM that I took in. right? So it's like that's
Mhm.
the risk, right, of borrowing, of leveraging when BOM peg is low, or if we expect BOM peg to skyrocket. You borrowed BOM to pair at a low peg, and now all of a sudden, that LP doesn't have nearly as much BOM in it, and BOM is more expensive, but you still have to pay back that exact amount of BOM that you originally borrowed, right? And
Mhm.
I'm going to demonstrate the advanced UI after, which kind of shows you all those things in great detail. But yeah, no, this is, I mean, you can see here that it's even with almost a 2 times leverage, I have a very safe liquidation zone, or like safe zone for this position. And I know there's been some questions about like what this means, how this works. So let's just get into that real quick. So in terms of liquidation, all that matters is the ratio between the two assets, right? So, and for us with BOM BTCB, that's really easy to check into because that's our peg, right? Where peg is strictly, what is the BOM price relative to Bitcoin? Well, that's exactly what this is looking at in terms of seeing if your position's safe. So this is basically exactly what our peg's at right now, 92 pretty much.
Mhm.
And this, just so to prevent manipulation, we use a time weighted average price for the peg, or I guess for the ratio between the two tokens, just so it can't be manipulated. And yeah, I mean, you can see even on 2 times leverage, I'm okay as long as, we don't go under 0.17 peg, or we don't go over 4.5 peg. So that's relatively safe for a 2x leverage. But considering that, we're in the bull market now, and, it doesn't take that much inflows to make peg absolutely fly. So, even this, you might want to think twice before having even a range that's, I'd hate to say call this tight, but it could potentially be tight. If a couple of Bitcoin all of a sudden just bought into BOM, we'd be at over 5 peg, right? And that's something that happened in the past numerous times. So it's not that unlikely to happen. So just be a little bit careful about that with your leverage positions. On my bigger positions, I've leveraged 1.5 or even less than that. So just something to keep in mind. Yeah, I mean, this kind of gives you a breakdown of, what the farm APY is this, but because I'm leveraged, my farm APY is this, and this is the borrow APR. So yeah, I mean, it's all pretty straightforward. Anybody have any questions related to that? Anything else you guys want me to cover in terms of just how BOM Max works? We got a quiet community today. Users can deleverage anytime, right? Yep. Actually, I can demo that right now. This position's pretty leveraged. So yeah, the way that this works, actually, that's a good thing that you brought up. Thanks for that comment or question. So the way that this works is, let's just take a look. I have 20.5 roughly LPs that are, earning for me right now. And I owe approximately 10 LPs worth of debt. So what you can do here is, let's just start with like, I'll deleverage 5 LPs. So what that's going to do is it's going to repay my debt. It's basically going to take 5 LPs. It's going to break them apart from the pair, and then it's going to use those assets to pay back the loans. So let's just do that. And I'm going to do another one after, just to kind of demonstrate what happens if you deleverage more than what you've borrowed. Because there's a little bit of a shortcut if anybody's, I'll kind of show you in a second. So let's look at that transaction quick. Probably looks like gibberish to most of you guys, but but yeah, I mean, essentially it just took 5 LPs, it broke them apart, and it used those assets to pay back my loan. And that's it. Nothing too exciting there. So now we can see that my leverage is now 1.5. Total collateral dropped by about 5 LPs. My debt dropped. Leverage dropped. All very simple stuff. And yeah, that was just me simply just going deleverage, popping the number 5 LPs in there, and then hitting the button and confirming the transaction. And simple as that. Let's just say I wanted to exit this position completely right now. What you could do, just to save yourself a couple steps, is you could just deleverage yourself all the way. What this is going to do is this is going to break my entire position up from the LP, and it's going to pay back all the assets I borrowed. But because it broke my entire LP up, it's going to actually send the remaining assets back to my wallet. So I'll demonstrate that real quick. I don't want to break the whole thing up, but if I break 6 LPs up, that should be able to demonstrate that. Yeah, that's more than I've borrowed. So if we look at this transaction real quick. So firstly, you can see that my leverage is now 1x, and I don't have a liquidation price because I haven't borrowed anything. Actually, I can just show you guys here. So if I go to Zap, so I didn't have any BOM or BTCB in here. So now I've got, $50 worth of BTCB, and I've got 760 BOM. So those assets went straight to my wallet because I deleveraged more than what I had borrowed. So it's kind of like it paid back everything I owed, and then the rest went back to me. So, I could have done that for the entire position if I was planning to exit it, but that's a crazy thing to do. So I don't suggest anybody be exiting their entire position. But yeah, that's really the basics of BOM Max.
Beautiful.
I guess if there's no questions about that, we can move on to the next topic. I'll give it a couple seconds here. Maybe in the meantime, I'll talk about a little bit more about, why BOM BTCB is, we feel is such a great investment, and why we chose to have that be the focus of BOM Max. It's ever since I launched the original BOM, the idea was let's peg to something that's, really desirable to hold long term. And it was especially good, just because I think BTC dominance absolutely skyrocketed since I made that decision. So, anybody that was, long BTC versus other coins did really well. So that, Bitcoin is obviously the largest crypto by market cap, and a great choice for, growing your BOM or growing your Bitcoin bags, right? Because that's exactly what happens when you're in the auto compounder. You're essentially growing your pair, which consists of half BOM, half Bitcoin. So the amount of Bitcoin based, assets that you have, or just straight Bitcoin and a Bitcoin peg, is just growing every 90 minutes with each compound. We got a question here. Great to see BOM is healthy. I'm not up to date. Can you briefly explain what sparked the revival of BOM? What changes have been made? Great question. So let's go over to the regular BOM homepage. So we got BOM Bull Run Edition. Essentially, real quick, what's been changed is we've repegged. So instead of a 10,000 to 1 ratio, it's a 1 million to 1 ratio for BOM to Bitcoin. Makes peg a lot easier to achieve and maintain. It did devalue BOM by a factor of 100, but BOM wasn't in the greatest state anyways when the decision was made. So it's, if you look at the charts, it definitely really helped BOM to, give it a new purpose until, some of the really amazing and crazy ideas that we have for the near future come to fruition to give BOM even more use cases. But for now, this is, again, kind of like we see on the homepage, right? The fork that sparked the DeFi craze of 2022, reborn and revamped, right?
Yeah.
BOM it's a well-known protocol. People are aware of it. We are very transparent. We do things very proper here, I feel, and always look out for, the best interests of our community. And, I think a lot of those things are kind of rare in the space. So, to have our brand name and our, same great team behind this, when the markets are now turning positive, is something it's proving to work out really well. Let's take a look at the BOM chart here. I'm not sure why I got that on 5 minute, but let's actually go to an hour. So, ever since this was kind of, the farms were launched, BOM's been doing really well. So very positive impact from the community. And yeah, a lot of people are really excited about BOM being back up and running. And, there's a lot more we can do with the protocol, but for now it's just a great way to, kind of get involved, get those shares cheap, get into your BOM BTCB LPs cheap. What are the LPs are at $112 now. They were, $80, $70 not long ago. So, you're gaining massive amounts of LPs in the auto compounder, and the value of the LPs are going up. Rock solid pair. So, what sparked the revival of BOM, I'd say, was, just basically relaunching with the new peg, having the new share token, which then allowed us to incentivize, farms and LP bonding. And we still have a lot of B2 shares in the treasury, like the battle chest of the protocol, right? So if you look at the farm, so I did something a little bit different this time around. Instead of putting all the B2 shares in a 1-year farm, we put only 15,000 B2 shares into a 6-month farm, knowing that we have a lot of flexibility to incentivize other things in the future with B2 shares, whether that be a more advanced farm that maybe allows like V3 positions to be deposited, or, we also, a lot of B2 shares are, held by the protocol to pay for LP bonding, which right now is not at a discount. So I wouldn't recommend doing this right now, but it's something definitely to keep your eyes on. When B2 share gets expensive, this is going to be a great way to get B2 shares cheaper. But yeah, no, actually, that's one thing that I'd love to hear from the community. What do you think would be a great way to kind of drive the protocol further? And the one major, I guess ammo that we have for that is we have 40 some odd thousand B2 shares that are ready to incentivize farms, or incentivize LP bonding, or incentivize anything else that's going to bring health and success to the protocol and all its participants. So anyone with ideas on those, I love hearing ideas. So I think I covered that question pretty well. Anything I left out there?
Yeah. Don't think so. That's
probably overly thorough. Sorry, guys.
That's how we are here. Overly thorough and overly transparent.
All right. Well, keep the questions coming. We love answering them. Nothing's off limits. Okay. So actually, before I get into the history of Bomb Max, I guess let's get into a little bit of how it works. And for that, I will open up like the advanced UI. So some of the questions we've had is, how does single staking pay as well as it pays? That's one of the big questions. And I guess the other ones are, how is leverage able to be, how are you able to leverage like 3-4 times, which is, it's very, it's a lot of borrowing compared to like what you would typically get in a decentralized protocol, right? Like typically everything's over collateralized, where if you look at this, it seems like it's under collateralized when you can leverage beyond 2 times, right? But it's the genius of what Imprimax originally developed that kind of facilitated all this, and to do it in a safe way. And for anyone that really wants to dig into it, for one, we're going to be like using a lot of the Imprimax information to fill out our own documentation. But in the meantime, like they have an extremely thorough white paper and docs and frequently asked questions. And it basically all directly ties into what Bomb Max does, because we're basically using, an improved version of their system. And I'll get into that in a second. So this is the Imprimax site, and their docs are great. We're going to improve our docs to have a lot of the same content. But I mean, just real, I keep clicking the same thing. Where's the FAQ? Oh, there. Just to go over real quickly, like if you look at just what they aimed to solve, this will start making a lot of sense, right? Like, what are the problems that are solved? So some yield farmers, automated market maker, liquidity providers are looking for a way to eliminate impermanent loss and still earn yield, while other yield farmers are looking for a way to increase their returns and aren't as concerned about impermanent loss. The Imprimax type solution solves both of these problems by allowing risk-averse farmers to lend funds to risk-tolerant farmers. So essentially, if you're worried about impermanent loss, that's a whole other topic if anyone's not familiar with what that is. But if it's a much simpler and safer way, I guess, to just earn on a single asset, or even on both assets if you don't want to deal with impermanent loss. Now, the thing that Imprimax was missing, and what Taro Finance added that made it really attractive for us, is so any LP farm where you're earning a reward token, you could look at it as like a 2-stack DeFi yield, right? So like, and I think a lot of people don't look at it this way, but it really is, right? So anyone that's providing liquidity on, say, PancakeSwap or Uniswap or any of these, Uniswap forks, you make money every time a swap occurs, right? So it's like, I think it's typically 0.25% of the value of the swap is going back into the LP for the liquidity providers. And actually one like interesting way to kind of see that is even looking at the BOM pair. So when this pair was first created, if it was at the ratio that it's at right now, this would be 1,000 BOM to 0.001 BTCB. So both those numbers that you see that are above and beyond that are from assets being piled back into the LP from swaps. So I think roughly it's grown like 25%, which I mean, I guess that's not great over the course of 2 years, but it is still earning just by having LPs.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like that was the premise for Imprimax. They said, hey, well, you can deposit LPs at Uniswap, or you can make LPs at Uniswap and you earn on trading fees. But they're saying, well, maybe you want to earn more on those trading fees. So, some guys are going to supply this asset single stake. Some guys are going to supply this asset single stake. Now you make your LP position bigger, so you collect more of the trading fees. But, with DeFi, and especially, big money earners like the Bomb Money protocol, we have better ways for our users to make money. So obviously we have our farms, which pay you out in B2 shares. So that's your second stack of earning with DeFi, right? So you're making money on the trading fees, but then you're also, staking your LPs, and we're paying you with B2 shares in order to, for you to do that. So basically that's where Taro Finance came in. They took the Imprimax model, which is, basically single staking for those that don't want any risk. And then they have, farmers that can leverage their farms. But Taro Finance introduced a vault contract that kind of works in place of the pair. So if you think about it, like Imprimax works strictly off a Uniswap or PancakeSwap pair. Now with our fork, like with Bomb Max and with Taro Finance, basically we made a vault factory that makes vaults for all of our farms. And that vault is 100% compatible to be what essentially would be the pair within the Imprimax system. So now you have, so essentially, like, I don't know if that makes any sense, but so I mean, yeah, if that's not clear, let me know in the chat here, and I'll try to explain it better than that. But yeah, so essentially now we have an auto compounding vault. So your LP is not only growing with trading fees, it's growing with every single time that it's compounded. Your LP account is going up, and that vault token is keeping track of the exchange between, the vault receipt token and your LPs. And actually, let's just take a quick look at that. I think, let's look at any of these deleveraged transactions that just occurred that I just did. And so if we look at the Bomb Vault token, so this was just launched not long ago. But I want to show you guys the exchange rate just to see how much this has grown. I'll zoom in a bit. So, I didn't need to screenshot that. But yeah, it's up 33%, right? So this has only been out for like a week and a half. And if you put one LP in at launch, you have 1.33 LPs right now. I think I just mentioned in chat a couple of days ago, it was like at 26%. It's already up to 33%. So wow. Yeah, so that's just how fast your LPs are growing. And during that entire time, the value of the LPs has been increasing as well, partly due to Bitcoin rising, but also largely due to the Bomb peg increasing, which both drive the value of the LPs up. So yeah, so basically this vault contract is essentially what the big thing that Taro Finance did to improve the Imprimax model is they said, hey, now you can use a vault as your collateral, which is so much better than using just a regular pair, because your vault grows, and it grows way faster than what your pair would grow just with trading fees. And again, you're not giving up the trading fees. This is just a double stack where you're earning both ways. Yeah. So I know that was a lot to take in, but if you guys want any more clarity on that, or if I explained that well, just let me know. You're good, Aaron? Just give me some feedback in chat, please.
But the gist of it is that it's a simple way. You just deposit it, and it earns fees. It uses Bomb Money to earn B2 shares, and you don't have to deal with anything. It just reinvests your returns back into it, so your position grows over time.
Yeah. Now let's actually leverage this up a little bit, and then I'm going to go over to the advanced UI just to kind of explain a little bit more about how that looks. Let's go for a 2x. And also, for anyone that's not aware, I know this slider only goes in 0.5 increments, but you can type any number that you want here. So let's go 1.9.
There you go. We got some approval here, Aaron. I think it was a great explanation.
Hope you're not just saying that. No, it's difficult to explain things just because like I have such a deep understanding of them. So it's like hard sometimes to figure out like what exactly needs to have extra explanation around it. Okay, so this has been leveraged. That was nice and quick. 1.9. And so this shows that I'm $962 in debt for 8.55 LPs. Again, not too critical, but just to let you guys know, this 8.55 LPs is not the actual exact number I'm in debt. The better value to look at is the US dollar value. This just for simplicity is showing you, this is how many LPs that dollar value is worth. So it is a good metric to look at overall. But I'll show you guys in the advanced UI right here. So yeah, this is not complete. There's some things here that aren't 100% accurate because this UI actually came from Imprimax, and Imprimax, as I mentioned, they didn't have the vaults, right? And I'll explain like one thing that impacts here is this says I've deposited 13.55 LPs. Now, if we go back to BombMax, you'll see that I've actually deposited 18 LPs. Well, that's because they're not factoring in the exchange rate that one vault token is worth 1.33 LPs, right? So they're showing me how many vault receipt tokens I have on the advanced UI, not how many actual LPs I have, because that UI, until we adjust it, it's not aware of the fact that a vault token actually has more LPs than receipt tokens. Like there's a ratio there. The more I talk, I just think I'm saying things that are just so complicated. I'm not sure if people are following.
It's complicated by nature. Well, not by nature, but it's.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, and maybe not my strongest point explaining
the advanced version of BombMax.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna get into that question in a minute, but just to show you guys, so because I just created this leverage position. This is some of the extra information that you can see on the advanced UI. So my debt on this position is this exact amount of BOM and this exact amount of BTCB. Those numbers are going to be increasing all the time. The goal is for anybody that's leveraging is that your LP position grows faster than the amount that you owe grows, right? And, it's, in my opinion, it's not ideal to be leveraging when the APRs are as high as they are right now. I'd probably pull some back just because, again, when you over leverage to the point where like all borrowers are having to pay 3, 4 or higher percent APR, you're doing a couple things. For one, when you leverage, now the rewards on BOM BTCB are now split between more LPs. So you're bringing down how much money everybody's making, including yourself, because there's more LPs that are sharing that same pie of rewards. And now you're also making it more expensive for everyone that's borrowed, right? So keeping that in mind, it's probably not worth leveraging out to max the utilization on both of those. I mean, it's not really good for anybody. Well, it's good for the single stakers because they get to earn a higher APR, but yeah, I mean, definitely like me personally, like I don't really want to pay those high rates for leveraging. So I probably wouldn't leverage much around there. But yeah, because I mean, you want to keep your farm rewards to yourself, right? You don't want to give all of your farm rewards to the single stakers, right? As much as they'd like that, but I mean, I think there's a happy balance. But yeah, I think I think at these levels, I'd probably think twice about leveraging hard, personally. But anyways, back to what I was talking about. So over here, you'll see that when BOM peg moves, your assets that you borrowed are not going to be equal value, right? Because when the peg moves, the value of one token relative to the other is changing. Actually, I wonder if I have another position I could show. Not off the top of my head, I can't think of one. But yeah, you'll notice that these numbers are going to be different. And that's kind of like, it all factors in with like the liquidation range in terms of where your position's safe. And I guess another feature with the advanced UI is that you actually can borrow an individual asset or repay an individual asset. So as peg moves up, I saw that, some of my positions that I had, I owed 10% more on BOM than I owed on BTCB, just because, again, when I made that leverage position, the BOM peg was lower. Now that BOM peg moves up, the value of BOM is higher, and yeah, so the BOM that I borrowed is now worth more than the BTCB that I borrowed. So probably a good time to maybe, I mean, one thing that you could do, even if you have no dry powder, if your numbers are out of balance, you could borrow a little bit of BTCB, swap it to BOM, and repay your BOM to rebalance it. Or you could just pull out an LP or two and do the same thing. Or there's a lot of different ways that you can handle that, but that's one way to make your position safer. Instead of just a straight deleverage, you could always come in here and repay whichever one you owe more on. That would essentially reduce your leverage and make your position safer. Something interesting, actually. So let's take a look at this. So if I wanted to borrow BTCB here, let's say, you can see my liquidation price here. You'll see that one side moves a lot more than the other when you're borrowing just one asset. So it's really like it's a much riskier thing to do, to just borrow one asset. Like, I'd recommend to almost everybody just to stick with the leveraging, to borrow both assets equally.
On BOM Max.
On BOM Max. But I mean, just to demonstrate though, like, so my liquidation range on the bottom side keeps moving. On the top, it's increasing a tiny bit, or I guess lowering, which is making it tighter a little bit. But the top is really the one that's increasing as I push this up. So like you could see here, like, if peg dropped below 0.8, I'd be in trouble here. So that'd be a really bad thing to do. And just with BOM BTCB, I know our liquidity is growing tremendously, but it's still relatively low, especially compared to like how much money some people in crypto have to be able to pump something. So I'd be a little bit careful about your leverage. Like, personally, I wouldn't recommend anything over 3 or 4 at the absolute max. I mean, I'm usually a pretty risky guy, and I don't feel too comfortable with anything over 2.0 right now. I think once we have millions and millions in the liquidity pool, it'll be a bit different, but it really doesn't take too much buy-in for things to really go crazy. So I'd suggest maybe taking it easy on the extreme leveraging, especially if your extreme leveraging is causing the APRs to skyrocket and now the farm APRs to drop because there's more money competing for those rewards. Something to think about. All right, let's handle this now.
Yeah. Can we offer BOM Max services to other projects? Great question.
Yeah, that is a great question. We definitely can. So, I mean, the short answer is yes, we can. There's a little bit of work involved when you say BOM Max, it's more like something like our advanced UI that we probably use for something like that. Like BOM Max, I want to keep really focused around BOM Money and BOM BTCB, potentially throw in a B2 Share BNB in the future, maybe. But yes, I mean, using a UI like this and all of our contracts, we definitely can offer this to anybody. There is a little bit of custom work involved for any other protocol that wanted to use this service, but it's definitely something that we can offer. I mean, the thing is, though, it's like, in terms of generating funds for the protocol, it's not, I mean, unless the TVLs are going to be monstrous in terms of these new projects, BOM Max doesn't make a ton of money. So we have to be careful about that. I mean, unless we're charging them for the setup of it or like some kind of recurring cost to keep it going. Unless we're doing something like that, I don't see like the actual revenue from the protocol covering, all the work and potential future work to maintain something like that. But I mean, definitely something that we can do. I like to go for like the more lucrative stuff out of the gate, though. But more lucrative and less work type stuff. And this one's like a high work and probably not extremely lucrative, depending. But definitely something that we'll keep our eyes on. And I'm not even sure if there's any real competition on BNB chain for something like this. So I mean, if we're the only ones doing this, then I mean, yeah, that could be an interesting opportunity for us. Hope that answered your question there. Probably overly thorough like usual. Could you explain
B2 Share and Borderroom, please? When is the best time to use it?
All right. I'll give my take on this, and maybe you want to go after.
Sure.
So there's a lot of different strategies related to B2 Share. A lot of it depends on your risk appetite, what your goals are, what you think the project's going to do in the future, and the health of the project in the future. I mean, actually, this might be easier if you broke down your question to a little bit more detail, because there's a lot of different directions I can go with the way that this question's phrased right now. Like, I mean, essentially, you
Stay
can,
high level.
yeah.
In the
I mean,
sense
if
that,
you
you
look
know,
at the boardroom, you'll see there's, we've had a lot of B2 shares staked, and there's with B2 share at the levels that it's at right now. I fully understand why there's that many B2 shares staked, because I wouldn't want to be selling B2 shares at these levels. And if you're not selling B2 shares, and if you don't have BNB to pair up with them to farm, we're a better place to put them than the boardroom, right? To put them in the boardroom, because it just takes a couple $1,000 of buys to push us over peg. Can happen while you're sleeping, and you don't want to miss out on those prints. So, yeah. So, I mean, again, without getting more specifics, like, I'm not sure which other direction to take that. I mean, in terms of the 80,
when's the best time to use it? How would you use B2 shares? What would be your?
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, if I was jumping into the protocol right now, I'd go 80% bomb BTCB, either through bomb max. I mean, because I'm a pretty advanced DeFi user, I'd probably split it a little bit between bomb max and the traditional farm, which is right here. But yeah, the other 20% into B2, I'd get into B2 shares. And again, it really depends on exactly how everything's looking right at the moment, what I would do with that. But right now, if you're farming B2 shares, or if you're happy to keep buying more B2 shares, I see the farm as a great choice, because the farm earns you a lot. The APR is really great. This is a great way to earn B2 shares to throw in the boardroom. Now, the thing is, like, if you're not earning B2 shares, you got to be a little bit careful with this, because if you want to be able to, essentially take your pair apart in the future, split up your pair and put your B2 shares in the boardroom. Well, if B2 shares are $1,000 and you entered your pair when they were 40, then all of a sudden, all those B2 shares that you had are now going to be BNB. Your pair is going to be largely BNB and not very much B2 share. So that's, the impermanent loss, thing. But
just to complete that, though, it is important to note that by that point, your position still went up. It just didn't go up as much as it would have if you kept them separate.
Yeah, your position would have skyrocketed in that time, and you would have been earning B2 shares the whole time in the farm. So yeah, your actual LP value would go up exponentially, or maybe not exponentially. It would go up. Actually, no, it would kind of. I remember, like, when B2 shares go up, I mean, our LPs on the original bomb hit over 2,000-3,000 a piece, right? Again, that was probably at around 10,000 a share price, but your LPs will go up dramatically in value. The thing is that if you split the LP now, if you expected to have, say, 10 B2 shares, it's probably going to be more like 1.5, right? When the B2 share price spikes that much. So if you actually want to hold B2 shares and get the whole exposure to that price appreciation, you probably don't want to have all of them in the pair. It's just a balance.
That's the beauty of the normal farms. You can, keep or sell what you're earning in the farms, and that position that you're farming with will go up in value. It will, up in value, but you'll lose some of the shares. It's impermanent loss. Sounds bad, but it's just lowering how much you could have made in different situations. It's not as terrible as it's all made up to be, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of people blow impermanent loss out of proportion. I mean, it's definitely something to be aware of and understand, but it's not as bad as people feel it is.
My take on this question, though, I'm a bit more safe, if you wish. I'd probably split, kind of like Aaron, 50% in bomb max to earn on that beautiful compound interest, 50% in the farms, and I would just accumulate the shares from the farms directly. Let's keep it simple.
Yeah. So if there's anything else that you wanted to know related to that question, feel free to post a follow-up question. But if not, I hope that got covered.
These updates come at a good time. Is the plan to focus on bomb money, or are the protocols also going to give a bull run edition? Well,
I mean, we're going to focus on whatever is going to work best for, overall health of the entire ecosystem. Right now, bomb money's got great momentum. We're getting coverage. We're setting up, more AMAs and, more advertising and a lot. And actually, I'm going to get into something right now. The platform that we're using with Crypto Mischief for the collab. And there's a lot of great things that we could do in there ourselves that we feel can drive a lot of positive activity and growth and engagement. So we'll jump into that next. But yeah, no, I mean, really, like, the focus is Bomb Money. And, as I've mentioned before, we've learned so much since the original Bomb Money launch, and we've built so many extra tools and UIs and, other protocols that can kind of interact with Bomb Money that make it better. Those things are things that I'm, Bomb Max being one of them. Those are things I'm very willing to get going. Because I think that, having Bomb Bull Run Edition really take off is the most important thing right now. And I've got a lot of great ideas, and a lot of the community members have a lot of great ideas, and a lot of our teammates have a lot of great ideas. And there's a lot of stuff that we want to deploy in the future, but right now definitely the focus is on getting Bomb Money healthy, and everything else is kind of secondary to that. I mean, I've said it before, there's a lot of different reasons why I feel Bomb is a great investment, especially the timing with the bull market coming right now. And, all the guys that had great experiences with the original Bomb and the name recognition. And, we've got a lot of things going for us that we didn't have going for us the first time around. And, things went great the first time around. So, we're looking for a repeat, but doing it up even bigger. So anything that needs to happen to make that happen is what we're going to do.
Get her done. Thanks for covering all these questions. You're welcome.
My pleasure. That's why I'm here. And yeah, I mean, and again, any question that gets asked, if I don't address like exactly what you were looking for me to address, just give me a follow-up question and I'm happy to hit those points. Okay.
Let's talk about that new platform. If you want to go a bit more into detail.
So Galaxy, spelled Galaxe. They are an amazing platform. I actually just kind of started looking into them about a week ago when Crypto Mischief mentioned it to me. So essentially what we can do with Galaxy is we can create campaigns that have certain requirements. And maybe actually I can demo this with the campaign that we did with the Shitcoin Club NFTs. I suggest everyone go through and do this, by the way, where, you can get one B2 share for free just by, completing the steps, especially if you already have one of Crypto Mischief's NFTs. But yeah, so essentially, like, this is what a campaign looks like. You just get a bunch of requirements. This one we have quite a few requirements because the prize is quite good. but we can set these up, as many of these as we want. And the cool thing about this is it really easily interacts with contracts. So we can say, okay, well, you have to have, maybe, you have to have staked Bomb. Like, one contract I launched like a year ago was like VE Bomb, like a vote escrow Bomb. That's one where like you would lock up your Bomb and you'd set like how long you want to lock it for. And, the longer you lock it, the more credit you get for that Bomb that you locked. So this is a really easy way to like integrate with that, to say, well, you got to have this much Bomb locked in order to qualify for whatever we might be doing in the future. Or, we just kind of had this idea recently, so I haven't put the specifics together. But, we can do stuff like requiring that you have a certain amount of a Bomb Max position, a certain amount of basically anything that I can check in a contract call, which is basically anything. We can put as requirements for campaigns, and we can set the rewards to anything that we want. One of the cool things too is they have these things called OATs, which is like an online achievement token. It's an NFT to just kind of say, hey, you signed up for this, you completed the campaign, you for free get this NFT minted. And once I thought about that, I was like, so we could actually have, our own contracts that check to see if you have, these online achievement tokens, right? So it's almost like there's no limit to what we can do in terms of, if you follow all of our socials and you have a Bomb Max position and you refer a friend, well, we're going to give you an ultimate bomber online achievement token. And maybe with that ultimate bomber online achievement token, maybe you get access to higher returns, or you get access to a new product before anybody else, or, there's really anything that we can do. And this makes it easy to actually like really track all that stuff, have it be verifiable on chain. We can do cross-chain stuff with this really easily. For example, with Crypto Mischief, his NFT is on Polygon, and our BombMax vaults are on BSC, and this all works perfectly. You can see my account got verified on both of those because I obviously have both of those things. So it you know, for launching stuff in the future on other chains, we can integrate that fully with this without having to do any custom work ourselves, really. So it makes it really easy for us to build like different campaigns to grow engagement. And actually, one thing that Richie mentioned to me from Crypto Mischief, he said, you know, it's a great way to grow engagement on Twitter because, or just really in all the socials, because we can, you know, we can set these up and have, you know, online achievement tokens as the reward that's going to get you access to stuff in the future. And, you know, guys that are in the socials right now that don't share always on Twitter because they're lazy or whatever reason, you know, this to give them something as a reward it makes it more worthwhile. And, you know, get a lot more people actually doing that stuff. And that can be a great way to, you know, kind of just get the word out even further than we already are. So yeah, this is pretty cool. If anybody wants to get going with this, I'll post a link to our space. You could access the campaign that we have with Crypto Mischief. And this was just a test camp. It wasn't a test campaign. Okay. So, I mean, anybody that wants to try this out, if you have a position in the Bomb BTCB farm and a BombMax vault deposit, oh no, actually, or either one, sorry, not if you have either of those, you can come on here. I'll post a link in the chat in a second, and you can get our first online achievement token that I created, Bomb, follow and claim out. So just to see how it works and just to get some action on our community, I suggest guys go and try that out. It doesn't cost anything. And follow our space because we are going to post a bunch more stuff up here in the near future. So this is I'm just going to send a couple links into the chat here. Sample campaign for free token. And I'm going to post the Crypto Mischief collab campaign. The one thing I don't like about this platform is how it opens a new tab every time I click on something. I already have a tab problem as it is. Okay. Crypto Mischief collab. In the Crypto Mischief collab, we're giving 1 B2 share to you know, up to 20 people who complete this. So another great reason to, you know, grab a Shitcoin Club NFT from Crypto Mischief. Again, like I said last time, he's, you know, been a big Bomb supporter right from day one. So it'd be great for some of us to show him some love in return and pick up an NFT. And as a bonus, you know, I'm sure most of you guys have a BombMax vault position, and the rest of it is, you know, really simple stuff in terms of visiting pages and following on Twitter, retweeting. So great way to get a B2 share for free. Any questions about any of that? Anyone excited to start getting free rewards and, you know, having our Telegram flooded with all kinds of new users due to this awesome platform?
I know I am.
Actually, I guess I'll put a link to our space as well. Not sure if it looks this way for everybody or just me because I'm the admin, but that should be the space link. Awesome. Yeah, I think it's not difficult to get an account set up with them. I think I went through a lot of the extra verification stuff. Like I created like a passport and I was just playing around with this. But I think just to get going with it, I think you just have to connect your wallet and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Is that this bit? User view. Okay, this is what people will see. Share. Okay, I can probably just take this link. So I'm really new in this, so excuse my stumbling. Yeah, so I mean, there is really like this platform is incredibly powerful. I was used to Zeely or Crew 3 before, and this just like blows it out of the water in terms of what we can do. And yeah, you know, we can give guys special like Discord, or we could do all kinds of special things with people once they meet certain requirements. And yeah, it's really neat stuff.
Are you on Galaxy right now?
Yep, I am. Crypto Aaron. Or if you go to our bomb space, you should see me there.
Yeah.
I was cheating the system. I got 2.
Already smashed those Galaxy tasks earlier today.
Oh, let's go,
Job,
buddy.
Jeff.
You're one step ahead. I didn't even talk about it yet, and you got 'em. Oh, unless you're talking about the Crypto Mischief one, because those have been announced a little while ago. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, if anybody has any ideas related to this, like a good campaign we can launch, like I noticed a lot of the big spaces have like 30 campaigns for different things. So there's no limit really to what we can put up here. And you know, it's all a great way to get more activity on our socials, get more eyes on the projects, and yeah, so we're gonna be really creative with this, but always we love ideas. So all right.
Give it a couple more minutes if anyone has any other questions. I think that
I'm just going to check some of our socials to see if anybody has questions there that I didn't see. Oh, wait, there was a question that I didn't answer yet, I think.
Oh.
One second. Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, I believe Lico passed in the message from Josh DeFi.
Okay.
He wasn't able to make the AMA, but he had mentioned if we can expand BombMax services to other projects. So did already cover that. Oh, we got another question.
Will the P-Hub buybacks start again?
Yep, definitely. There was a couple issues that I ran into while getting those going again, but as I've said, I'm going to make sure that something or others is running by the weekend. So, and what I mean by that is, like, you know, I want the buybacks to work through V2 and V3, but it's complicating things, and I know people are really looking forward to those buybacks. So I might end up just releasing like a fixed version with just V2, and then I'll fix it later to add V2 and V3, just because just for more optimal swaps. And sorry that's taken as long as it has. I just ran into a couple roadblocks and got past them now, so looking good. Okay, so I think we've answered everything.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for joining. Thanks for all the great questions. And yeah,
let's go.
Really bullish on Bomb, the markets, and everything we got going on.
Thank you. Thanks for having everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a great day, everyone.
Oh, and actually, real quick, the winners. So the bomb buy competition just finished. So it looks like congratulations to the 2 winners. I'll right when we finish this up, I'll get those prizes sent out and maybe start up another buy competition. Actually, you know, while we're here with the community, what do you guys think about the buy competitions? Do you guys like them running all the time, or love to get some feedback on that? Or you could always tell me in Telegram after.
Either way works.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Yep. Thanks, everyone, for joining in. And I think we're going to be doing these really regularly. You know, going to have a lot to talk about on a weekly basis. And yeah, look forward to seeing all you guys next week.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys around. Take care.
Bye.